Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Beware the Board, a horror podcast where we watch a randomly selected horror movie every week. Except this week, we're not doing that, are we, Ben? We're doing something else. I'm Bob.
And I'm Ben.
We're watching a specifically selected movie. This isn't random. I already know what the movie is. The audience doesn't, of course, because we talked about it. But this week, we're not watching a board movie. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the day that this is coming out. I'm pretty sure it's Monday.
Probably.
So we decided, this is the year of us watching holiday movies. And I don't know if there are any actually Martin Luther King Jr. Day relevant horror movies.
I mean, I'm sure.
Like that are set on that day or like revolve around that day.
If they are, they might not be okay to show on this show.
Yeah, that's fair. I hadn't even thought about that. So instead of making Ben slog through trying to find a movie like that, because I'm sure you could find something, but I doubt it would be. Oh, he's laughing now. What?
Nothing.
What?
Nope.
Oh, come on.
No.
Will you at least tell me after the show? No. Huh? I don't know what that is.
No,
I don't know what that is.
Well, this isn't funny. You ruined it.
Well, I don't know what it is.
I know. You've ruined it.
Mostly because I couldn't understand what you were saying. But it's fine. We'll
No,
move.
this is getting cut out anyways.
No,
it's gone on too long.
No, I wasn't going to cut it. I was going to leave it in because it was funny. Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Is that a bad movie? Is that a problematic movie? That's the better question.
Well, let's see if I can find a picture from it.
Oh, is it?
Guess who the heroes of this film are?
Oh, that's not. Never mind. Oh, that's why it's called that. That makes sense. That's a. Good Lord. Okay. Well, anyway, we're not gonna watch whatever the fuck that movie is on this podcast because I don't think it's horror. So there's also that. But what are we watching instead, Ben?
We're watching no movie today.
Oh,
Nope.
So
we're not gonna do it. Not gonna watch anything.
We're not watching any movies.
Nope.
We're not. No movies today.
Nope.
Why not?
Nope.
I went to laugh and it hurt. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this. If I say I hurt during the podcast, it's true. I really fucked up my back at work, and when I laugh, it really hurts. And Ben's making me laugh, so I'm in pain. So Ben, can you stop with the bit and tell people what we're watching?
Nope.
We're watching Nope, and this motherfucker won't stop just saying Nope over and over. Do you want to explain why we're watching Nope, or do you just want to keep looking at whatever the fuck it is you're looking at on your phone?
I'm looking at the Nope notes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were still looking at the other thing we were just looking at, and I was
No,
like, Ben's
they
really
don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I was thinking Ben's just staring really thoughtfully into that picture.
All right, so we're watching Nope today because we decided to choose like films that are, kind of important in the history of at least horror for, black filmmakers and stuff like that. So, Nope is a pretty big film by Jordan Peele.
Who's a pretty big black director.
Yeah.
He's
also
pretty
a
famous.
Comedian for a while. You might know him from
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele.
I love some of their stuff on YouTube, dude. Some of it is like their early stuff is so funny.
But yeah, you want the description?
Yeah, I've very diligently avoided spoilers for this movie. Every time I'm on Twitter, if someone's like, nope, spoilers, I run.
He sees something and he's like, nope.
I go, nope, and I run away from it because this is a movie that I've wanted to see since it came out.
Yeah, that's also the other reason we chose it is because we knew Bob would get it spoiled at some point. So we were like, might as well watch it now because, Bob, what do you know about this film?
Nothing. I think I've seen part of the trailer. I know I don't know how to say his name. Steven Yeun? You know what I'm talking about? He's in this movie.
Yeah.
Steven Yeun? I don't know if that's not how to say his name. But I know that he's in this. I've seen like a picture of him in this, and then in the background was a UFO. That's all I know. I've seen the UFO and that he's in this movie. That's it. Those are the only things I know.
You ready?
Yeah.
So the description. The residents of a small California community bear witness to a chilling discovery.
God. Anytime you hit me with one that's like super generic like this,
that's my
it's
job.
a good one. Yeah.
The length, 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
Oh, it's a long fucking movie.
Yeah, it's kind of a slog. Not in a bad way. It's just real long.
I didn't realize it was going to be long. I didn't expect that. That was surprising, to be honest.
Rated R.
Thank God.
Not PG-13, your favorite. All right, review scores. IMDb, 6.9 out of 10.
It's pretty good.
Tomato meter, 83%.
That's really good, actually.
Audience score, 69%.
Oh, interesting.
So the IMDb and the audience score are the same.
All right.
All right, so awards.
It's already won awards. How long has the movie been out?
2022.
Not that long.
Yeah.
It came out at the end of last year.
So the current ones at the time of me writing this, it had 9 wins and 69 nominations.
Holy shit.
It had a Saturn Award for Best Science Fiction Film, an AFI Award for Movie of the Year, an HCA Award for Most Anticipated Film, an IFJA Award to Hoyt van Hoytema for Best Cinematography, an NYFCC Award to Keke Palmer for Best Supporting Actress, a NYFCO Award to Hoyt van Hoytema for Best Cinematography.
Okay.
A OAFCC award to Hoyt van Hoytema for Best Cinematography.
God damn.
A PCC award to Keke Palmer for Best Supporting Actress. And an SLFCA award for Best Horror Film.
This movie got a lot of like awards for its cinematography.
Yeah, although Hoyt van Hoytema.
I think the name is very funny.
Yeah.
Hoyt van Hoytema.
I think that's how it's pronounced. It's Hoyt, HOYTE, and then Van, VAN, and then Hoytema, HOYTEMA.
All right.
All right, so noteworthy people in this. Daniel Kaluuya as O.J. Haywood. You won't recognize him as Chris Washington in Get Out.
Yeah, I haven't seen Get Out.
I know.
I've heard very good things about that though.
Keke Palmer as Emerald Haywood.
I know the name, but
She plays Alice in Alice.
I
That was a recent film.
haven't seen that either.
She was on the Disney
I know the
Channel
name
for a while.
I know the name. I just don't
I think that
recognize
was the Disney
her.
Channel.
Maybe, I don't know.
Stephen Yeun as Ricky Jupe Park.
Nice.
He was Jacob in Minari and Mark Grayson from Invincible.
Yeah, he voices the main character in Invincible. That's that in The Walking Dead. Those things I know him from.
Brandon Perea as Angel Torres. He's Alfonso French Sosa from the OA.
No idea.
Michael Wincott as Antlers Holst. He's Rene Ricard and Bezget. I think that's how you pronounce that. Ren Schmidt as Amber Park. She's Margot Madison from For All Mankind. And then finally Keith David as Otis Haywood Jr. Otis Haywood Jr. Jesus Christ. Otis Haywood Sr.
Oh my God.
We got there eventually.
I didn't realize that the second one was a mess up.
He's fucking Childs in The Thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Writer-director, Jordan Peele. So Get Out and Us. Other things he wrote direct.
I was about to say, isn't there one more? But I can't think of it. Get Out, Us, and then I thought there was one more.
Mm-hmm. We talk about it a good amount on this show. It involves a man and candy.
Oh, Candyman.
Yeah.
There it is.
Budget, $68 million, estimated.
Holy fuck.
Box office, $171.3 million.
Jesus Christ.
Country of origin, United States. It's also known as, I'm just going to give you the translation here because I don't know how to say this in Portuguese.
Oh, no.
No, don't look.
Oh, okay.
So for taglines, I couldn't see any on covers.
Oh, they didn't. Did they not put any out on the covers?
The tagline section had no taglines either.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Does it just not have one?
I don't think so. There is, so on the front cover of like most of the art,
Yeah.
there is the sentence, "A new terror from the mind of Academy Award winner Jordan Peele."
Yeah.
Not necessarily a tagline,
Not really
but
a
it's
tagline.
close enough.
I mean, honestly, the tagline probably would just be "Nope."
Like,
That's the name of the movie.
That's the name of the movie. It's
yeah,
right there.
like I don't know.
That's all they want to say. I think the only fun fact I have, because it was kind of hard to get stuff and not spoil stuff.
Sure.
The clip Emerald claims features her and OJ's ancestor is a real 1878 animated series of photographs, one of the first moving images ever, which is known as the Sally Garter at Gallup from 1878. After the horse seen in the pictures, the jockeys were listed as C. Marvin and G. Dom, with neither of their identities known to this day. So
Oh, that's really cool.
that'll make sense later. It's a really famous little clip.
Yeah, I just
It's in this film.
that is cool.
That's all I got. We're gonna go watch it.
You are.
Dude, I'm tired. I was out drinking yesterday.
I know. I could tell. I was gonna ask you how your night was because I knew you were drinking last night.
It's fine. I don't get hangovers. I'm just tired.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna go watch Nope. We'll be back in a second. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Yeah, we're back from Nope. We're a little bit more energized now. Bob's still in pain, but
I'm still in pain.
we're here.
Unrelated. Oh,
So,
God.
what'd you think? Without doing your spoilers, What'd you think?
I
of
mean,
the
I
movie?
liked it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it was scary enough?
I did. I wasn't scary.
Really?
Well,
Because you started freaking out, I think 5 minutes after a clip of you going, "This isn't scary,"
yes, but I was freaking out at something that was not what I thought it was.
but still a part of the movie.
Still a part of the movie. Now, if that had been what the movie was, I would have shit a brick, but it was not. And actually, I think what it ended up being was way cooler.
Oh yeah, it's a cool movie.
It's cool.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
You didn't seem to get any of the subtext.
I mean, I got some of it, but it was like,
I made a joke at one point, and I was like, "Bob, do you get that?" He was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do you really? It's this thing." And he was like, "Oh, well, I didn't get that part."
yeah, I didn't understand that part. but it was whatever.
So, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, no, I will preface this with I didn't think it was a very scary movie. There are some parts that kind of got me, but not scary. I think it's honestly just like a really fun, cool movie.
It's more of science fiction.
Yeah, more sci-fi than horror.
But I think it's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, if I did not know what this movie was about at all and had gone in completely blind, it'd probably be a lot scarier.
Also, I'm going to be honest, this movie's a lot more unsettling in theaters.
Yeah, I feel, because a big part of this movie is sound effects and the sounds that you get, and I feel like in a theater, it would have been way fucking wilder.
Oh, yeah.
Because you would have been more immersed into it, I guess.
Yeah, so the big thing with this movie is sound, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, if you can go somewhere and listen to it with really good sound, it's helpful. You got anything else to say, I guess, before we go into the spoilers?
We talked about it during the movie, but I really enjoyed the relationship between OJ and his sister.
Yeah, I think all the main characters do a good job portraying their characters.
Oh,
they
for
seem
sure.
Well written.
Yeah. But their relationship is so on brand with how I am with my sisters. And then throughout the movie, I was like, oh yeah, that's very similar to how I'm with my sisters. Like, and then I said, we are very different relationships with our sisters.
It's
just
fair.
Because like you were like, I don't know, you just seemed. What's what I'm looking for? I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. I feel like I could tell that you don't act like OJ does towards his sister, towards your sister.
So it's what Bob's trying to get at. I told him during the movie that Emerald, which is Kiki's character, I think she's very well acted, and I think she's funny. However, she annoys me. Mm-hmm. And that I think part of that is I empathize with OJ's character, and he's very serious and just like, I got responsibilities to take care of.
Yeah.
And they care for each other, and like when it comes down to it, she's a decent sister.
Yeah.
She's also very, I don't want to use the word irresponsible, but she kind of is all over the place with her responsibilities.
Yeah.
And is trying to like prevent him from doing his in a way that I find irritating.
That's fair. But
it's not her character, it's the behavior, I guess.
Yeah. I just think it's really interesting that I connected a lot with their relationship because that's the way I am with my sisters, and I could tell that you did not. And I just think that's a very interesting dichotomy when it comes, because most of the time when we watch shows like this, or movies like this, we get a similar experience out of it usually, I guess. And this time it was different for that reason, and I thought that was just an interesting point.
Know, Bob, everyone has a different home life, so, you get different things.
I mean, I guess, yeah, but I just thought it was interesting. That's all. That's all I want to talk about before we get to the spoilers stuff.
All right, so spoiler time?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right. So, the way to break down this movie, first of all, the movie's divided into parts.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting.
Each part's labeled. The first one's just Nope. And that's kind of like the cold open part. And then everything after that is named after the animal that section's focused on.
Yep.
Because there's animal stories kind of as a central theme to this.
Yeah.
Which, big spoiler, the UFO in this movie isn't like a flying saucer in the sense of a ship. It's a flying saucer as in an animal.
Giant-ass
named
animal.
Jean Jacket, after a horse that they used to have on the ranch where this is set. But what'd you think about that twist? That it's not
I called it. Like...
You called it after the film revealed it, Bob. You did. So, during the film, OJ goes, I don't think it's a ship. And then it cuts, and then it does the Gordy thing. And right after it did the Gordy thing, you went, I don't know if I think it's an animal.
I'd been thinking that the entire movie.
Oh, well, you didn't call it until after he said it.
Well, yeah. But that's why I brought up sound, is because sound is so important in this movie, because if you pay attention to what you're hearing, you pick up that it is definitely not a ship.
How so?
You can hear it like grunting and gurgling and all the noises that the ship makes are they don't sound mechanical.
Yeah, but it only starts doing that till later in the movie.
It does it a lot at the beginning too, which I picked up on, and also like it only seems to be sucking up things that are like organic.
Yeah, but so do UFOs and UFO stories.
Sure, but
it's eating horses. UFOs usually get cows.
It's true.
I was more asking, what do you think about the twist? Because
I like it. I think it's cool.
The establishment is in that world. All UFO stories are about these things.
Yeah, which is interesting.
More of them.
Yeah. Oh, that's scary.
Because it's just an animal that lives on Earth.
Yeah.
It's a big cloud predator.
Ugh. Ugh. I don't like that. No, I liked it. If this had just been a classic UFO story, would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been whatever. I think making it a creature allowed them to play with a solution more, I guess. Because, like, if it's a UFO, what do? You shoot it with a rocket or something. You know what I mean? Like, you just try and blow it up.
And that doesn't work.
And it never works.
UFO.
The fact that it's an animal means that it, first of all, it's not stupid. It's less intelligent than a human.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Well,
When it's an animal, you get into the interesting ideas of it doesn't think like a person.
that's more like what I
Yeah.
was getting at. Yeah. It acts on animal instincts, right? It's not like it doesn't have like a well thought out.
It just has an alien mindset.
Yeah, which I think was cool. It allowed them to what's the word I'm looking for? Mess around with the idea of leading it around and using certain things because it was almost a sciencey take, I guess, on like
Kinda.
it's not sciencey, like zoologist animal like behavioralism.
Well, like an animal trainer.
Well, yeah,
Because
that
they're
was the
animal
point.
trainers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool.
I think one thing to mention before we start to get really into it is the sound in this movie.
Yeah.
It's very well done. Did you understand why I said turn off the subtitles?
No, actually.
Okay, well, first of all, we did not have the movie up as loud as it should be. But early on in the film, there is points in time before the spaceship is revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And the only sounds we hear from it are the screaming,
Yeah.
which, when you watch the movie, it says shrieking
Mm-hmm.
when you look at the TV.
Yeah.
However, the sound is specifically designed so that if you don't know what it is, it sounds like the wind.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
So, like, there was a points where the movie's set up so you're not supposed to know the spaceship's there, but the captions go shrieking.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because it doesn't start... I know you said it grumbles early. It doesn't really start grumbling until after Ghost dies,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Before that, it's all... Ghosts the first time you hear the shrieking really loudly. But even
Mhm.
before that, like when Otis gets hit, Otis Sr.,
Yeah.
with the shrapnel, you can hear it whistling.
Interesting.
But yeah, sound design's done really well in this.
It's crazy. Like,
And,
genuinely, it's really, really cool.
You know, I've looked into some of the sound design on this film because they do such good like horror with sound.
They do.
And the best way to describe that, besides the fact that, you know, the creature makes a bunch of noises, which
Yeah.
give it away that it's a creature.
Yeah.
The big one is the popping. I don't know if you could tell.
I don't know. I didn't get what that was.
So this creature is very specifically, this is my take, is very specifically based on ocean creatures.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, the first time we really get a good look at it moving,
Mm-hmm.
we see it swoop and disappear over this hill.
Yeah.
I believe right before that or right after that, we see Antlers, the photography guy, looking at footage of predators hunting.
Yeah.
And very specifically, we see an octopus do that same thing where it kind of slides over like a reef and they grab a
Yeah, I
crab.
saw him watching, like,
Um,
I guess he films documentaries and stuff, like animal documentaries.
He's just an old school filmmaker.
Yeah.
But he's looking for nature shots because he wants to do like the perfect shot, which we'll get to eventually. But yeah, so it's that movement that's very organic, that looks like something swimming.
Yeah. I
And-
mean, it definitely looks like that later, too.
That insert of the octopus to me felt very thematically relevant because
Yeah.
what we see later is the creature can kind of flare out its shape,
Yeah.
very much like an octopus can switch its shape. But to me, it looks very reminiscent of some type of like jellyfish or something.
Yeah. That would be, yeah.
Because when it flares out like that, it's doing the equivalent of like puffing out when it's in danger.
Oh, yeah.
So to be honest, it kind of looks like a lionfish. Have you ever seen one of those?
Those things are super deadly.
They're super deadly, but most of the time they're kind of streamlined, and then when they're kind of pissed off or they're scared or they're threatening territory, they'll spread out like that
Yeah.
and get all big, which is what the creature was doing. When it was doing the eye thing, when it pulls its eye out
Yeah, that
and
was
starts
fucking weird.
probing it, that's like a...
Like echolocation?
No, I think that's like a predatory response. Like when animals tend to get like scared or pissed off, they'll puff up.
Yeah.
And sometimes some animals will have something like flashy kind of near
Oh,
their face that
to
they
try
can
and
flash
scare. Okay.
to kind of scare away or threaten or intimidate.
It makes sense.
And so it was doing that with the balloon at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Or it was doing that with OJ because it understands that OJ's like kind of an equal threat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's based on marine life. And the popping, if I had to guess, is like echolocation or something.
That makes sense. You
'Cause
know
it's-
what the popping reminded me of? And
Or not echolocation, but like that's how it's
Yeah.
making noise.
The popping every single time every single time it popped reminded me of the balloons popping during the Gordy bits.
Mm-hmm. It's
Very
probably
reminiscent. I think that was kind of the purpose.
But well, I think the balloons are in the Gordy bit are reminiscent of the ending of the movie too.
yes, that too.
All right, so that's what the creature kind of sea life, right?
Yeah.
But we were talking sound.
Oh, yeah.
So screaming. That's probably the biggest version of telling horror with sound. Like probably the best sound design because, I was looking at some stuff and apparently for the screaming sounds they have, they had people go, hey, make the sound you'd make when you're on a roller coaster. And then they were like, all right, thank you. Now scream like you're really afraid. And then they overlapped those sounds and had them play when it picks up people.
Huh. Interesting.
So you can really hear it listening to it once you know.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like sometimes like someone's afraid and sometimes like...
Yeah, like they're getting fucking yeeted around.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But I just thought the sound design in this movie is really well done.
It's really, really good.
There's music cues.
The music is really
stuff.
good. I've seen Us, one of Jordan Peele's other movies, also very good sound.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like his bread and butter as a director is knowing how to use it effectively.
Fair.
And it's very, very good.
I thought the cinematography in this film was good. It was pretty.
It was so pretty. I wanted to talk about
And
that.
I thought the creature design was good.
I also agree with that.
But like sound's one of those things where I thought it did better. It's just harder to recognize because it's subtle.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think that when we look at other movies that do sound well, first thing that comes to mind is Halloween and Halloween 2. The music in those is immaculate.
Yeah, and it's just, I think it's one of those things that's hard to recognize as
It is.
someone just watching a film to be like, oh, this is cool and this is why.
Yeah.
And that's hard to break down. Like even me having looked into it, it's hard for me to, describe without having stuff set out in front of me.
Yeah. I understand.
Did you want to say something about the visuals?
Nothing other than just this movie's really pretty. There's a lot of really, really interesting, cool shots at weird angles, or the use of fog in this movie because the creature moves around in a cloud is so cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say dust. They do a good job with dust.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Just like fog, dust,
obscuring
general.
areas.
Very, very good.
I guess if we're mentioning effects, I want to mention. If we're mentioning visuals, I want to mention effects because like minimal CGI in this film. Most everything's practical. It looks like.
Yeah.
The only things that are CGI is Gordy, who's an ape featured in this, which we'll get to, and the creature.
That creature has to be CGI.
Gordy doesn't look great, but the creature looks very good.
The creature, I think Gordy passes.
He passes. He just, I could look at him and tell he was a CGI ape.
I mean, same.
Because I think that has to do with hair, and hair's hard.
Yeah.
But the creature looks really, really good.
The creature is fucking scary looking.
That might just be because it's, more imaginary, so it's easier for us to be okay with. But
yeah, and I think they really
great.
played up with the idea of making a creature that is alien-like while also feeling like
it just seemed foreign,
grounded.
Yeah,
like that. I feel like not to sound crazy, but that could be real. Like I could see that. You know what I mean? It felt connected enough to something that could be real that
it seemed like it was put enough into anchored in real life biology enough to seem realistic. Now obviously, no.
I could suspend my disbelief.
But you could suspend your disbelief and be like, this is a creature I could see existing in this world.
Yes.
Like with the UFO shape and everyone being like, oh, it's a UFO.
Yep.
To just when it puffs out like that seems like something an animal would do. Or I don't know if you could tell when it had the UFO shape, but it had an eye spot.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
There was a little dip into its shape because that's where its eye was.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I like creature design. I always like a good movie with creature design.
Yeah.
Creature features are one of my favorite horror genres.
I want to watch some.
And
some good ones.
It's just nice seeing one that's well designed.
Yeah.
And when they establish stuff, they keep with it. The creature knocks out electrical signals.
Mm-hmm.
I assume because it's putting out an electrical field, which might have to do with the fact that that's how it flies.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, that makes sense.
Or communicates, but I'd guess that's how it flies.
Probably just uses magnets.
Yeah. Plus, that would explain if it's creating static electricity, how it's making clouds around it. They're just attracting.
They're just sticking.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of general thoughts, and we'll get to the breakdown. But instead of doing the normal one where we kind of describe what happens.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's kind of hard movie to describe what happens.
Yeah, it's
just of how it's broken down into parts.
And also it's long.
And it's long. It's over 2 hours.
Yeah, I think it's 2 hour 12 or something.
And most of the film is the characters discovering more about the monster.
Yeah.
Because it's eventually revealed. If you look at the creature, it gets kind of pissed off.
Yeah.
And it attacks you. So most of the film, they keep it covered from as the audience's eyes, because the characters can't see it.
Yeah, which is definitely cool.
And I think that's a good way to do reveals like that. It also makes it less obvious that it's an animal. There's enough hints where you can figure it out, and once the reveal happens, you're like, oh, yeah. Because, I was saying earlier, the second Bob had enough clues to just come out and say it out loud was right when the movie revealed it. So I think that's good timing.
Yeah.
But, a lot of the movies, just them figuring out stuff about the creature. But it's also a series of events where animals get taken.
Yeah.
Which is the sections are named after. And then there's a flashback to Gordy.
I do have a complaint about this movie.
What?
The Gordy bit.
Okay.
Not that it's bad, because it's not bad. I think it's fine. I just don't get the importance.
Okay, so instead of breaking down the film, I was going to explain kind of the underlying theme with animals.
Sure.
All right. So the movie has this weird opening with
Yeah.
a chimp, and there's a shoe sitting upwards,
Yeah.
just with one drop of blood on it. It's hovering like, it's weirdly sad. It's like completely vertical.
Yeah.
And throughout the movie, we realize that Jupe, which is, I think his nickname's Jupiter from that Kid Sheriff show.
Yeah, it is.
But I think his actual name's like Richard Park.
It's Ricky. They call him Ricky.
Yeah. But this guy that lives down the way from the Haywood Ranch is where OJ and Emerald, the main characters, are.
Mm-hmm.
He owns this Wild West theme park. And when he was a kid, he was a child actor. He was on this Kid Sheriff show. But after that, he was on this show.
I
Do you
don't remember
what
what
it's
the
called?
name is.
Something Gordy, I think.
I don't remember if the show was just called Gordy or something. I don't know.
But basically, it was like a sitcom with a chimpanzee.
Yep.
And he was the kid actor. And we eventually see during the Gordy flashback the events of the last filming, where it was during an episode about Gordy's birthday. He got some balloons. They went into the rafters and they popped, and it freaked the animal out.
Yep.
And it went on a rampage. It ate one of the girl's faces. It killed a bunch of people.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. And that's a reference in the film. Like, that's why we can't use chimps anymore in movies.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a funny joke, because they don't use an actual chimp in this movie.
They
For
don't
that reason.
anymore, yeah.
Which I want to mention, the chimp eating someone's face, that's a reference to an actual thing that happened a couple years back. I don't know if you ever heard about that.
Oh, I didn't actually.
Someone had a pet chimp, and their friend was watching it,
Yeah.
and it
Yikes.
lost it. It was like the nicest chimp ever, but it lost it one day, and it like tore this woman's face off.
That sucks.
Because, it's an animal. But there's kind of two reasons for this Gordy thing to be in there. Because it feels out of place until I think you think about it or you watch this movie again. Because, like, it does seem weird, right?
It feels out of place, but it doesn't feel like it shouldn't. It feels like
It feels thematic or tonally relevant,
yes,
but
it's not
thematically.
thematically relevant. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's honestly probably one of the scariest parts of the movie. Or maybe
Oh, it's
it may
the
be the most
freakiest.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
That's the part where I was the most tense in theaters. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was uncomfortable. in
It's
theaters
uncomfortable, bro.
with like all the sound and
Yeah, and just
quiet.
like, and it's also like it's what they don't show you that's the bad part, because I mean, spoiler, I guess, but whatever. We're talking about the movie. It's shot from under a table.
Yeah, it's shot from Jupe's perspective.
Yeah,
Like he's hiding under this table,
yeah.
watching as this Gordy goes crazy.
Gordy is beating the shit out of Mary Jo.
Who's this other little girl on the show?
Yeah, his friend on the show,
You
and
can hear
then
it rip her face off and eat it.
but you don't see any of it, and that is such a small little thing of like you don't see it.
It's an attention to detail thing.
Yeah,
And I mean, there's this idea in horror that
Ugh.
like things that you don't see are scarier than things you do, because you can imagine the most scariest thing in your mind.
yeah,
Whatever's scariest in your mind, fill that in instead of seeing something.
yeah,
But this idea of Gordy kind of exists for two reasons. So the first reason is this idea of respecting and understanding animals. So like in the show, they're the Gordy show, right?
yeah.
They are essentially taking advantage of this chimpanzee.
Oh, for
right?
sure, 100%.
They don't respect it, and so what ends up happening is they're not thinking, and they freak it out, and it goes crazy.
Yeah,
And it starts attacking people. Did you get why Jupe survives? Because eventually the monkey sees him.
yeah,
It walks up to him, it looks at him, and then it offers the fist bump, because that's
Yeah.
what it was trained to do on the show. Do you know why it doesn't attack him?
I actually don't know.
Because Jupe wasn't looking it in the eyes.
Really?
So we see when when Gordy comes close to the table that there's a tablecloth that's going down in front of the table,
Yeah.
and it's blocking Gordy's direct eye contact.
Huh.
So it's kind of this idea of, even if accidentally, Jupe under the table's respecting it, because it's a dominant sign in animals. When you look it in the eyes,
Yeah.
you're like threatening it. So he doesn't, and it doesn't attack him because he respects it. And that's kind of a theme throughout the movie of like, you have to know and like respect animals when you interact with them. Like
Interesting.
with OJ at the beginning, there's also another idea of like looking things in the eyes. He has this horse on set,
Oh, yeah.
and he's telling everyone, because everyone keeps trying to get close to the back of it, and he's like, don't get back there, because what happens when you get behind a horse?
Oh, well, you'll get fucking kicked.
It kicks you, but no
Oh.
one cares. They don't care. They're like, I was told to be here. Fuck off, I'm doing my job.
I've seen so many people get kicked by
Oh,
horses.
you'll get killed.
Oh, yeah. I've seen, yeah. It's fucked.
We're in Kentucky, for anyone who hasn't realized yet.
Yeah.
And horse state. So
Horse state.
that's all we got. We got horses and bourbon, and the bourbon left.
That wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
For anyone who doesn't know, for a long time, bourbon had to be from here.
Yeah.
It's like how champagne has to be from Champagne and France.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're like, nope,
Do whatever you want.
because they can, I think, modify water quality
Yeah.
to give it the right stuff. Anyways, during that scene, like, no one's respecting the horse, and he keeps telling them. And then
Yeah.
they bring out a mirror, and they flip it in front of the horse's eyes. And, of course, it freaks out, which is another eye imagery.
Mhm.
That's scattered throughout the movie.
Yeah.
That's kind of how he gets the whole don't look at it thing figured
Mhm.
out. But it kind of goes to show that, like, that's OJ's thing, where he understands animals and how, like, he's able to interact with them well because he respects them.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, his dad being a horse trainer, him being a horse trainer,
Yeah.
like, that's just something you would learn.
But it's just this understanding of he knows they're dangerous,
Yeah.
but he knows how to work with them because they're animals, and he knows
Mhm.
that if he can act a certain way and give them respect, that he can work with them. And so that's eventually translated into his interactions with Jean Jacket, where
Name makes me laugh every time.
it is, but it's named very specifically after a really wild horse. They mentioned that Jean Jacket was, like, wild,
Mm.
and that's why they named it after
Yeah.
Jean Jacket. It's because, I don't know if you noticed, everyone else in the movie kind of considers it a big monster.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's scary.
It's definitely scary.
But OJ's the only one who goes, nah, it's just an animal. You got to respect it.
yeah.
That's why he volunteers to go take care of it, is because he knows as long as I behave properly,
Should be fine.
I can deal with it. And that's what we see in the end of the movie. He attracts it because he puts reflectors on the back of his jacket.
Yep.
He, starts freaking it out. Then he pulls a cord because he knows it's afraid of flags.
Yeah, because the last time it swallowed some, it, like, puked them up.
Yeah. And it, like, he handles it so well that the creature, Jean Jacket, takes him as a threat. Like,
And
it
leaves.
gets close to him and starts flashing.
Yeah.
And he stares at it because, like, that's what you do when something's threatening you like that. Like,
Yeah.
you don't break eye contact with a wild animal that's doing that.
Oh, yeah, because as soon as you break eye contact, it's going to attack you.
Right, which I think is what happens at the end with the blimp. Because it goes towards the blimp, or
Yeah.
not the blimp, the balloon of Jupe,
Yeah.
and it's blinking, like it's winking,
Yeah.
and it's looking at it. I guess it thinks it looks away, and it attacks it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's part of why the Gordy thing's there.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense explained, and if you watch the movie, it doesn't feel that out of place.
It
just
doesn't.
doesn't feel...
It just doesn't click, I think.
It doesn't feel plot relevant, I guess. It doesn't feel like it's advancing the story at all, but it is giving you underlying subtext
Yeah.
for the rest of the
So
movie.
that's the big subtext with animals, right?
Yeah.
There's another thing, though, that actually is plot relevant. It has to do with how Jupe developed as a person. So, I don't know if you noticed, he has a big shrine to the Gordy TV show.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild. Like, he's collected a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He even has that shoe that was standing up vertically in a case,
Yeah.
which is very clearly the most important thing to him in there.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like in a case by itself.
Oh, yeah.
But logistically would probably be the least valuable thing there.
Oh, probably. He had all kinds of shit from the show.
It's just important to him. And there's kind of what this is he was basically in this traumatic accident as a kid, right?
Oh, yeah. Totally traumatizing.
And not only was he fine, but at the end, this animal that went crazy came up to him and tried to give him a fist bump. And I think from a very young age, it kind of instilled into him that, like, he's important. Like, he's special, you know? He's the only one it didn't attack. It tried to give him a fist bump because he doesn't realize why it doesn't attack him.
Yeah.
He just goes, it didn't attack me. This is an important moment. This is special. That's why the shoe's there, standing vertically.
Yeah.
Is it because it seems
out of place.
it seems out of place? It seems like this is a wild, special, important thing.
Mm-hmm.
When in actuality, this event is random. That shoe standing up, that's random. The fact that Gordy went crazy,
Chance.
it's chance. And so that's kind of like this important thing that happens in his life because when eventually he's running this amusement park and he loses this, what was the name of the horse?
Oh,
Like Trickster or something?
Trigger.
Trigger. Like he's wrangling this horse Trigger. It runs away and a UFO eats it. And because of this incident that happened when he's a child, he sees this event and he goes, oh, it's special. This is important. Like they're coming to communicate with me. And so he keeps feeding it.
Yeah.
And everything goes well. And he takes that as, oh, this is an important event, not this is
Yeah.
just happening by chance.
That's very interesting. I think
And when he starts taking advantage of the animal, he gets a crowd there.
Yeah.
That's when things go wrong, just like with the Gordy TV show.
Yeah, and I mean, Otis even says it, like, you can't wrangle a wild animal.
Nah.
Because that's what he was trying to
That's
do.
what he was trying to do.
Was wrangle a wild animal, and he got bit.
But like he thought he could get away with it because he thought he was special.
I mean, it sounds like he had a fucking complex. And I'm almost positive he did.
He did because he had horrible PTSD from childhood, from when he watched a bunch of people get killed by an ape and almost himself. And you have to process that some way. And the way he processed it was, this was like a special event, or I'm special. And it just comes through, and I think that's interesting.
I hadn't even considered that as like, that was as a thought.
I think that's the thing with Jordan Peele's movies, is there's a lot to unpack sometimes.
Yeah.
And in this one especially, because it's not a horror-focused movie.
No, not. It's definitely unsettling. There's some parts of the movie where I was like, "Oh my fuck!" There are not a lot of outtakes. I'm gonna go warn you. I don't think I screamed at all, if at all. Once or twice.
There's 5 minutes after you said this movie isn't scary. I think you got really freaked out.
Yeah,
that might be our only outtake.
Yeah, but there are some. This movie is so good at making you uncomfortable.
It's a good atmosphere movie.
And it's the atmosphere thing. It's like, I never once saw the creature and went, I'm afraid of this thing.
No, when I watched the film for the first time, I went, "Oh my god, that thing's so cool."
That's exactly my thought. Oh my god,
kind of creepy.
Kind of creepy.
Look at how it moves.
Because the way it moves, super creepy. Especially early on in the movie
when it seems to slide over the landscape.
Yeah, it's real weird.
It moves very different than how anything in the air normally moves.
Yes.
It moves like it's in water, where it shoots in all directions and it kind of flows.
Yeah, the way it moves. When we see all the people get sucked up at Jupe's place, seeing the inside of it and watching them slowly get eaten and moved throughout the creature.
The creature design for inside is so cool.
It's interesting.
We see it early.
We see it at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And we don't know.
At the beginning of the movie, we see this tunnel. And then at the very end, we see something. And it's the projection of the jockey running.
Yep.
Did you notice that, like, the inside of the creature where its eye is? Because it can look inside to what it's eating when it sucks stuff in.
Yeah.
But there's this tunnel where it looks through, and that tunnel is designed to look like the inside of a projector.
Yeah.
Because that's what that was at the beginning. It was a projector.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
But yeah, the inside looks like an inflatable kind of house thing.
Yeah, it looks like an inflatable bouncy house kind of.
Which is horrifying because it was definitely crushing those people.
Oh, crushing them to death.
Yeah.
And also, another sound thing, while we're on the topic of the creature and the people inside of it. While sound is important, silence is also important.
Oh, yeah.
There are some parts where it'll suck someone up and they'll scream for about 10 seconds, then it just, like, stops. And you hear the snap of their neck or whatever, and it's just like, oh.
Or the best one is
it's so
when it's hovering over the house with the rain.
Yeah. That one's
and you hear
fucking...
the rain cut out because it's over top of it.
Yeah.
And it starts dropping stuff. But that's that.
Yeah.
How do we get on that?
Talking about Gordy.
Oh, yeah. But I think the last thing kind of to talk about, just in regards to, like, deeper themes, right, is the whole thing with Antlers and his death.
Yeah, listen, I like Antlers as a character.
Oh, he's so fun. I love his voice.
His voice.
He starts singing Flying Purple People Eater.
Yeah, I think he's cool. I think it makes sense what he did, but I also think it's fucking stupid.
Well, he's an artist.
Sure, Benjamin.
So what that comes back to is kind of obsession. So, you know, when Emerald's selling to him to come down, she's like, we got a shot at the impossible.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't want to go up that mountain.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the callback to the end. Like, he gets this opportunity at the perfect shot, and he's like, oh, there's no way we can get that. We don't deserve that.
Yeah.
But he goes for it anyways because he knows that, like, this is probably his best chance.
For sure.
And he'll hate himself if he doesn't get it. But also, I think there's this idea to him that, like, he knows it's something he'd die for, and so he goes and he dies for it. Because he knew he was going to kill himself for the obsession.
Sure.
He might as well go get his shot at it. I think that's the setup. It's kind of that idea of, like, a lot of people have dreams that are kind of impossible.
Yeah.
But that will also they'll die trying. That's just what that was.
I understand that. It's one of the only things in the movie where I go, that is completely and utterly absurd.
It's absurd, but it works because it's in character.
Yeah, no, and I like I said, I understand why the character would do that.
Because I saw it and I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? That's so stupid.
That's exactly.
But it's also like I 100% get why you're doing it. I'm just mad because you fucked them. Like they get all the shots they need.
Yeah.
And he fucks it.
Hey, they get the good one though.
Do you have anything else you want to mention? I have one last thing.
I don't think so.
All right. So here's a weird thing that I never got.
Okay.
people think OJ dies in this movie.
He clearly does not.
So he's staring down the creature, right?
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Emerald, and she yells at it, and then it follows her, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end, we see him appear kind of in the distance in dust.
Yeah, sitting on the horse.
A lot of people took that ending to mean that, like, he got eaten and she's seeing, like, his ghost. Because throughout the film, we kind of see OJ going into flashbacks. I think that's why people think that.
I guess.
I never got that until I was looking at discourse on this movie and someone brought that up.
I mean,
Because I just didn't pick up on it.
But the thing is, we see him in a similar state throughout the movie.
Yeah, and
Like,
so,
there are tons of shots of this movie where people are just standing obscured by dust in the distance.
well, what I was gonna say is I bring it up because I read someone gave the argument that him dying thematically doesn't make sense
Also that.
because he's the only person to respect the animal, and the movie establishes this whole idea that if you respect the animal, you
You get to live? Yeah.
get to live. So I just thought I should bring that up because I thought it was an interesting thing.
I mean,
I thought it was an interesting way to read the movie. I didn't read it that way,
I did neither, but I understand.
but I also prefer the movie where he lives. So I'm giving my argument.
Yeah. I mean, I understand how you could interpret it that way, but I don't think that was the intention of the movie at all.
No, I don't think so. That's why, again, I think it makes thematic sense. That
Yeah.
he lives. You have a favorite character?
Angel was very funny.
Angel's very funny. You know, he wasn't written like that. From what I
Really?
could find, the actor came onto set and he was there, and they changed his character up to be more like how he ended up being.
Really? I liked him. I thought he was funny. He was my favorite. I think Emerald's probably my favorite.
I like OJ. OJ's my favorite.
See, I think Emerald's so funny. She has so many really good one-liners.
Oh, she's very funny.
and I just enjoy her presence a lot.
I just empathize with OJ more.
That's fair. I totally get that. Dude,
Emerald's very funny though.
Emerald's very funny. I want to talk about the beginning of this movie. That white lady, the actor white lady at the beginning,
Yeah.
when
She goes, "Your name's
was
OJ?"
I was just like,
yeah,
can
Otis Jr.
can we go through this movie without having a racism, please?
Well, I don't know if it was necessarily a racism so much as it's an unfortunate name now.
It is unfortunate, but I'm just like, a black man named OJ, and that's the first thing you ask? Come on.
Well, to be honest, I'd ask that of anyone whose name's OJ. It's a very unfortunate name.
I mean, rather unfortunate nowadays.
because the most famous OJ ever,
is a murderer.
allegedly,
You cannot.
he may have on camera made jokes about it and stuff, but he was never convicted for murder.
I don't care.
He was convicted
Come at
for
me,
other
OJ.
things.
Fucking Jesus.
I know, Bob, but I like the allegedly joke.
I mean,
We're rolling with it.
it's funny for sure.
Yeah. You want to get down into, I guess, ratings?
Yeah, sure. We can rate it.
All right, Bob.
Do I always go first?
Yeah.
Can you go first this time? I have to think. I'm
No,
sorry.
I want you to.
I don't know how I feel yet.
Okay. Well, let's go with who we recommend it for.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay.
My recommendation. First of all, if you're going to watch this movie, you're going to want to watch it somewhere dark on a nice TV because it looks good.
It does look very
it's
good.
It's a lot of sky shots, so you really want to be able to see the detail.
Oh yeah.
So preferably a big TV because sometimes you see things very far in the background that are tiny
Mm-hmm.
with high detail. But the big thing is you want to be dark. You want it to be loud with good sound.
Yeah.
And, well, you could watch this film with other people. You want it to be silent in the room while you're watching it for atmosphere. But I'd recommend it for anyone who's into creature features.
Yeah. That's a good one.
If you like Jordan Peele, obviously. But, like, the big thing is if you're into kind of something more sci-fi and, like, theme-driven.
Yeah.
Not, like, heavy sci-fi, but just light.
It's definitely sci-fi though.
But it's definitely sci-fi.
And I think that's interesting because we haven't really watched any sci-fi horror movies.
Well, we watched Halloween 3. It's not, like, absurd sci-fi. It's, like,
no.
subtle.
It's subtle, but we haven't watched a good sci-fi horror movie on this
No.
show yet.
But, you know, I think my big recommendation, if you want like a grounded creature feature,
Oh yeah, for sure.
that's what I go for. With deeper themes,
Yeah.
you know. You have a recommendation there?
Are you a horse girl? Because this movie has lots of horses. My recommendation is
I hate you.
not that not that it is a western, but it's very western themed.
Yeah, I mean, it's set in like a small valley in California.
Yeah, and they own a ranch and stuff. So if you're into horses and you want to see a bunch of horses, a good horse movie, I guess. But also my thing is, I thought it was very interesting seeing this from the perspective of
You don't normally see things set in the desert, and this is very much a desert.
it's a desert. But what I was gonna say is, my brain hurts. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. You don't normally see things from the perspective of ranchers out on the ranch in a modern setting. When you think of ranchers, you
fair.
think of Old West cowboys. This is a modern ranch movie, which I think is fairly interesting. Personally, as someone who grew up in this state, but wasn't really around horses. But Churchill Downs is fucking massive, man.
Yeah, I guess it just feels like it has thematically. It kind of feels like something said in the Dust Bowl.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially when the creature's flying around.
The creature's flying around, but like it's super dry,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the stuff we see is just at the ranch, but also it's a failing ranch, so
Yeah.
it feels. Any other recommendations there though? I would not recommend it if you want something action packed. It's a slower movie.
It's a slow movie, but not.
It crescendos, but
I was gonna say, while this is a slow movie, I looked up at like an hour and I was like, no, I feel like this is about
No, you don't feel like you're slogging through it. It feels like it's the length it should be.
Yeah.
It's long, and if you're someone who can't focus on something that isn't just like action all the time,
Yeah.
this is not your style.
That's fair. But the big one for me also was sci-fi. If you want a sci-fi like horror movie,
Yeah, but not high science fiction.
not
You want
high science fiction,
grounded, kind of
grounded,
more realistic.
modern sci-fi, it's pretty good. I like that aspect at least.
Have you figured out your rating yet?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
4.
Okay. Why?
While I like a lot of the movie, most of it, in fact, I have a couple things that are keeping me from putting it at a 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think, how do I put this? I think the whole, like, oh God, this is really hard for me to put into words. The whole I don't want to call it plot.
Flashback.
The whole flashback stuff,
The Gordy specifically.
the Gordy flashback stuff, it adds to the movie, but if you're like a casual viewer, I think it's too artistic for like the average person, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it takes too much. If I want to sit down and just watch a movie, I'm not just going to sit down and watch this, because this is not a brain off, no think, enjoy movie.
Okay.
You know what I mean? This requires too much forethought to go into and really enjoy. If I wanted, like, any other dumb fun horror movie would be, more for me. This was a lot for my tiny brain,
All right.
my tiny melon.
So, any other reasoning there? Like, how to get up to a 4? Like, good?
I mean, yeah, it's just good. Like, I liked the creature design, the pivot from UFO to creature was cool. I like the actors, the cinematography is great, the music and sound is really good. I think the characters and the story are interesting while not feeling overly produced, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to word that.
It seems
That's weird.
natural.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like
Scripted.
or overdone in any way. It feels very much contained within itself without going overboard.
All right. So 4 out of 5 for you.
Yeah.
You ready for mine?
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Because, all right, so I think I've said on the show before, a 4 out of 5 for me is if the movie sets out and it basically is the best film it could be. And I think this film does a good job with that. As far as like a UFO movie where it's actually a creature feature.
Oh, it's very good.
It's so good. Like you're saying, it's well written. The characters feel natural. They're still very funny, but not in an outlandish way.
Oh, Emerald is so funny. Some of her lines are just like...
Yeah. And they're very casual, so it feels natural.
Yeah.
Like she was like, I was talking to my therapist, and OJ's like, you see a therapist? And she's like, yeah, I fuck one.
It's just...
Stuff like that.
It's
funny.
funny.
Outlandish, but it seems natural for the character. And that's great. The setting's really cool. It looks pretty. They do a lot of small things that make it feel like an actual place.
Yeah.
Like the Cactus Ices, which I really want a Cactus Icy now. The Fry's instead of a Best Buy.
Yeah.
Which both, I assume because it's a more regional store in California, but also because the front entrance of Fry's is a UFO crashed into it.
I did not catch that the first time.
Creature design's great. It seems to be put into science a little bit and thought out. It seems very reminiscent of ocean stuff. So, all around, I think it was as good as that concept could be. However, I think they went above and beyond that concept with kind of the deeper themes things.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because that's what makes a 5 out of 5 for me, is when it kind of goes above and beyond what it probably could have been with that concept. Because it adds a lot more into there about, like, the idea of random acts feeling special.
Yeah.
Like, there's a ton of stuff, and I haven't mentioned all of it. I'll mention another one, because I can just do that right now. The whole thing with the praying mantis on the camera.
Yeah.
It's so out of nowhere, and it feels so much like, you use the term act of God, because right after Emerald goes, I haven't seen a praying mantis, like, ever.
Yeah, and then it jumps off the camera.
And it jumps off the camera right after it leaves. There's a ton of stuff like that as the undertones. There's the whole Gordy subplot about, like, respecting animals and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, how you have to treat them. How there's the read with OJ dying, where, like, you have to understand the themes if you want to read that.
See, that's my thing. Like, that's cool, and I understand that people like that about movies.
But here's how I'll put it. The reason, sometimes if you go too heavy on themes and themes and not under stuff, but like kind of the undercurrent of the story, it can detract. In this case, if you shut your brain off and you go small brain like Bob, I'm sorry, my Freudian slip.
Mm-hmm.
You can still have just as fun.
Oh
with
yeah,
this movie.
still fun movie.
Like, you don't need to know the themes to read the idea
No.
that OJ's alive. You don't have to necessarily understand the Gordy thing.
No, not at all.
You get to watch an ape beat the shit out of people.
Yeah,
I don't feel like
unsettling.
that detracts from the movie.
No.
The reason I'm giving it a 5 is because all the stuff that Bob said kind of made you think and you didn't necessarily like for that reason.
Yeah.
I go, well, I could enjoy that if I don't want to think, but then it's something for me to enjoy if I watch a second time, and now I go, okay, now I'm trying to piece this together.
Fair.
It gives me more than what should have been there. So, 5 out of 5.
Yeah, and I understand that. This was just, I thought that the movie in my brain didn't really lend itself to lend itself to allowing me to understand those deeper themes more easily without having to actually like sit down and like think about it in my brain while I'm watching the movie.
I guess, but my point is, like, I don't feel like that took away from your viewing experience.
It did, because I had to stop and think. And I was like, wait, hold on.
But was that because I was pointing stuff out
Maybe,
during the movie?
but I don't know. It
Because, like, I know the first viewing, I wasn't thinking about any of this stuff.
I mean,
so
I
it might be
wasn't
just because I
really
pointed some
either.
stuff out.
I don't know, maybe, but
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a movie where you can watch the first time, have a bunch of fun with it, not think, just watch, and then the
Yeah.
second time you can go through and really listen for stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
it is cool. And I think if these themes had been delivered in a different package, I probably would have enjoyed it more.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think they're themes where you're supposed to figure them out the first time.
That's fair.
I think it's a rewatch, but that's why I give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
But I think that's all we got today. We'll go
Yeah,
to
I
the
think that's
outtakes. We'll see what those have in store, and then we'll come back here for the closer.
Yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the outtake section for this episode of Beware the Board. I hope you enjoyed our review of Nope. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a really cool spin on the classic UFO. Without further ado, let's get into this week's outtakes. This first outtake comes to us from the beginning of the movie when we first are introduced to Gordy and what happened whenever he mauled all those people to death. Oh my god, what the fuck?
It's an ape.
Yeah, but why is it covered in blood?
Apey boy.
No, come on. Please tell me this monkey did not.
It's not a monkey.
Sorry, a chimp.
It's a chimp. It's part of the ape family. Oh, look, it sees us.
Does it?
Like Bobby was looking at the camera.
This next clip is our reaction to what causes the death of Otis Sr. A bunch of random objects start falling from the sky, and one, I think it's a coin of some kind, ends up hitting him in the eye and hospitalizing him, eventually leading to his death. What the fuck?
Can I turn the subtitles off?
Off or on?
Off.
Why?
Because it's important.
I guess. I like to have them on, but is it going to give something away?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, you can turn them off.
I hate having subtitles on. Like, I don't hate it, but I think it ruins movies most of the time.
Oh, shit. Oh my god, is he dead? Already? I didn't expect that to happen so fast.
He's leaking.
Oh my god.
Did you not see the stream of blood pouring out of his face?
No, I mean, I saw it, but it's a lot, man. It's a lot worse than I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, it hit him in the eye. Oh my god. What? It was a nickel? This next outtake is just a clip of me during the movie saying that it was not very scary, and Ben asking me to include it because I was about to get the shit scared out of me. This movie is, not very scary, Ben. Not very scared, Ben.
Do you have something to write down the time at 45 minutes?
Why?
For when Bob goes, this movie isn't very scary?
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck you. This next clip is our reaction to a couple of kids dressing up as little gray alien men and scaring the shit out of Otis. I don't like this camera. What the fuck? It's like, oh my god. I can't tell what that is. Ow, my back. Ben, what is that? Oh, there's more than one. Ben, what are those? Yeah, me too. No, bro, seriously. No, are they, are these actually just like little gray men? Cause Ben, I don't know if you, oh my god. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
I like his flip phone.
Yeah, well, he's had a flip phone the whole time. I don't know what year this is set. They haven't told us.
It's set now.
Yeah, well, I would assume so because Keke Palmer's character is vaping.
There's a thing.
Yeah, I can see it, Ben. Ow. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm so mad. I'm so angry. This next clip is the second time that we see Gordy, and it's also the last time we see Gordy. Oh, come on. It was bad enough when he was just beating her to death. Now he's like eating her? Oh my god.
And cold open.
Come on, monkey man. Please get away from this young child. This makes me incredibly uncomfortable. Please, please quit, bro. This is... Oh! Holy shit! This next clip is our reaction to seeing Jupe lure the creature in and then have everyone in the stadium area that he's presenting in get eaten by the creature. Oh? I didn't know she survived that.
But now you do.
I thought she died. No, this man's gonna have something that should not be in that cage. This man's about to do something stupid, isn't he?
That's not true. I like his... Look at the back of his jacket.
It's very... I like his outfit. I
You
think
see
it's
what it
very
is?
cool. Yeah, I think I know what it is.
There's a UFO.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool. That's what I thought. Oh, so he knows about it too, I assume. I didn't know he had kids. I assumed he just had a wife.
Remember
what?
You'll see.
Okay. Oh, man, he's really deep down the rabbit hole. Like, he's named him and everything. It's still up here? This is the part of the movie I've seen, by the way. Just because this is in the trailer.
Yeah, this part's in the trailer.
Yeah, this is
Just
part
this clip.
Yeah.
Like where he's staring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The more it shows this, the more I'm convinced it's not a UFO, but it's a creature of some kind or something. I don't know.
Not the slushies. They're gonna melt.
What? Oh. Oh. God, she looks freaky.
It got eaten.
Yeah.
Face.
Okay, you're not going to show us anything else? You're just going to... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Huh? What in the fuck? This next clip is our reaction to the creature in an attempt to kill Emerald, and Angel sets up above the house on the ranch, blocking out the rain, and then begins to vomit up blood, guts, and viscera from its past meals, as well as random objects such as wagons or anything else it sucked up along its path. That's so much water.
It's raining outside.
Yeah, but that's a lot of water.
Well, no, did you not see? That's not the water you're seeing. That's the lack of water.
Oh. I couldn't pick that up.
It's water dripping off the sides of it.
I don't think the mouth could fit the whole house.
It's the size of 2 school buses in diameter.
That's so unsettling.
Oh, look, the screaming stopped.
Oh, it's dropping stuff. I guess it's the stuff that it couldn't process or eat.
Just like a whale.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Ugh. That's fucking sick. Like, genuinely. Oh, that's so scary. This next clip is my reaction to Otis, in an attempt to avoid the creature, sleeps in his car for the night, and the creature, in an attempt to make him run, drops the horse that they had used as a decoy earlier in the movie directly onto his windshield, scaring the shit out of me. I mean, I would do the exact same thing. Fuck this bitch. You want me? You can eat my car too. Hey! Oh my god. Well, that fucking scared me. It's that stupid ass horse decoy from earlier. This next clip is our reaction to seeing Antlers commit suicide trying to get the impossible shot. Huh? What's up with this guy? Why is he being a little freak now? Oh, is he trying to get a...
He's going for the perfect shot.
Yeah. See, the thing is, they'll probably never fucking recover that camera.
Oh, we don't deserve the impossible, Bob.
This next clip is our reaction to how Emerald ends up actually defeating Jean Jacket. Oh, it reverted back to normal form and is now ingesting this giant inflatable man. Oh, that's wild. Holy shit. It exploded. Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Hope you like the outtakes.
Hopefully they were good.
However many there was.
I mean, I definitely got the one in of the aliens. because that
and the
fucking
thing
scared
before
me.
that.
Yeah,
Which I thought was good timing.
it was very funny. I'll tell you that much.
But we don't really have much to announce today. The really only big thing is we're doing an episode Friday like normal.
Yeah, normal
So-
Friday episode.
Go get that. Bob should have already announced what movie that is. So if you're curious, go click on the
Thing on our Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be up. I put it up the week before, so
Yep.
it'll be there. Speaking of our Twitter, follow us on Twitter at Beware the Board. If you want to keep up with the show, that's where I put everything. I tweet out a link to every episode. I post polls there. I post basically any and all updates and/or things about the show are on our Twitter. So if you want to keep up to date, that's where you should follow.
Otherwise, YouTube, we don't do a lot of posting on there, but we have all our content right now. So.
Yeah, and I've even separated them into playlists. So if you just want to watch the first season, it's in its own playlist. If you want to watch all of them, they're all in one playlist. It's all
So
organized.
Every episode's on there. He has it organized. There's a playlist for a season.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last thing, eventually Spotify.
Yeah, we'll be up on all streaming platforms at some
I
point.
thought there was a chance that The Bay might be on Spotify when it came out.
Oh,
We never got our art.
nope.
We were promised our art this weekend,
We were. That's true.
but it never came.
It'll be here eventually.
All right. Well, it's been grand.
It's been my back hurts. That's how it's been for me. I've been in an inordinate amount of pain all episode. I can't believe it.
We'll
This
see
shit
you Friday.
sucks. We'll see you next Friday. And remember, always beware the board.